Welcome to Crafts and Christ with Christine. I'm Christine Pashula with Puritas Ministries, and today with me I have two anchor youth, Ben and Daniel. So let's dive right into our craft. For this craft, you are going to need the printed off template of the nativity scene here. We're going to need a bunch of colors of tissue paper, whatever you have. We're going to need some contact paper. It's just sticky, clear paper. So if you don't have any, that's totally fine. Just use parchment paper and glue. We're gonna need some string, any color. You're gonna need one color of paint. We chose black and brown. You can use whatever you would like, or you can just color your popsicle sticks, because we're gonna need some popsicle sticks too. And then we'll need some scissors, and finally we will need our hot glue gun. Let's dive in. Okay, so first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna prep all of our supplies. We have a lot of things to cut. So first thing we're going to do is we're gonna cut our tissue paper. So how this is going to work is you're just gonna grab like a sheet or two of your tissue paper, and all we have to do is cut them into small, tiny squares. So however you wanna do that, that's totally fine. I'll just show you how we're gonna do it.
I'm gonna do baby blue.
Good one.
Squirrel! That's a Subaru.
Oh, and then I guess you could do this other sheet of pink.
This is pink.
It's light pink. Or, as they call it in the church, rose.
Rose, which is French for pink.
Yeah. How I'm gonna cut my tissue paper into really small squares is first I'm just gonna cut it into 4 larger squares. I'm gonna overlap this part. Then once I've cut my 4 squares, I'm just gonna line them up as straight as I can, one on top of the other. Yeah. Yep.
These scissors are really dull.
Would you like to borrow mine? You're not using scissors, right?
What do you mean I'm not? The butt end's dull.
You're supposed to use the whole thing, not just the tip.
It didn't work. Oh, this is so much nicer. Thank you, Christine.
You're welcome. Sharing is caring.
We care.
Once you have your tissue paper stacked into 4 squares, nice and neat on top, we're just gonna go ahead and cut some strips. They don't have to be perfect, but just cut it all into strips. Try to keep your strips together and stacked as neatly as possible. It'll just make our next step a bit easier. But if they get messed up, that's totally fine.
I think I need to go back to kindergarten. My cutting skills aren't very good.
It's okay, it doesn't have to be perfect. It'll make all of our ornaments unique.
What you laughing at over
Yeah,
there?
what are you laughing at, Ben?
Unique.
This is gonna be the most unique.
Mine?
No, Ben's.
Why, he's bad at cutting too?
Well, I wouldn't use the word bad, but that's a squiggle, not a line.
Yeah, no, that's why. Look at it. You know what? Don't look at it. Because some things are better admired in the dark.
As you get towards the end, it might be a little harder because, see, I hardly have any yellow left, but that's okay. Just continue cutting it into strips. It doesn't have to be perfect. Now that I've cut all my strips, I'm just going to go ahead and put them into a pile, make them as straight as possible for our next step of cutting them into squares.
You're going a buck 90 right now. I gotta catch up. I need a helpo.
You're doing great.
You know, children literally others helpers. I need one.
Yep.
It's like when you have a driver instructor, like, you know what? I don't know how to drive. I need a driver instructor to teach you. Like, wait, but you are the driver instructor. What you laughing at?
Yeah, what's wrong?
How curved is that, Ben? Let me see. Let me see. That looks like an hourglass, Ben. How did you do that?
Ben, do you know what a straight line?
I don't feel so bad about myself anymore.
No, you know what?
I got a lot of self-confidence.
Ben, you know what? The colors that Ben cut are just gonna make our ornaments so unique. Because we're gonna have some circles in there.
I wasn't trying
kind of straight line.
Oh, okay. That
For
makes
those
me feel a
wondering.
little better.
That doesn't make it really better because you broke the rule.
So we're just organizing our piles into piles that we can cut through with our scissors. Okay, now that we have our tissue paper cut into strips, we're gonna do our final step and cut them into squares. We're going to use this tub that we have here and just grab our little handful here and then just go ahead and cut our squares right into this tub. We're just gonna mix all of our colors so that we can all use them and then grab them out after. Make sure you're cutting them the size that you want. Don't make them too big, don't make them too small.
Ben, you're biting off more than you can chew.
I made a knot.
How?
Ben does things that make Einstein question how
So
he did it.
now that sorry. So now that our bowl's kind of overflowing, I'm gonna bring out this basket here and then just dump them in here and then refill our bowl.
One flew out, but it flew back in.
Whoa.
That's kind of cool.
Ben, what are you doing?
Try and cut it.
Ben, you having trouble there doing the signed requirement?
I broke your scissors.
What?
Wait, in the handle.
Oh! Look what he did!
I'll just use my fingers.
No.
I think this is when Karen is helping. Let me help you.
Did this speed up?
No! No, not the good scissors!
Okay, Stanley, cut my scissors back.
These are such good scissors. They have a cap that goes on top. What? Ow.
Are they like sewing scissors?
No, they're crafting. Scissors.
I should have brought my mom.
Be more careful with your scissors.
Those are sharp.
It's fine. It's fine. Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and add all of these squares we just cut into our basket here. Just kind of fluff it all out so you can see all of our colors. And now we're just gonna set this aside and move on to the next step and come back to our tissue paper. Okay, our next step here is we're just gonna cut our contact paper. So what we're going to do is you're gonna wanna cut it about 5 inches by 7 inches or so, and we're gonna cut 2 pieces each. Now, if you don't have contact paper and you're using parchment paper, all you have to do is cut 1 piece that same size, 5 by about 7. Okay, now that we've cut 2 squares of contact paper, for each of us, we're gonna go ahead and just set that aside for later with our tissue paper. Our next step of cutting is we're just gonna cut out Mary, Joseph, and Jesus from our printable nativity scene here. Make sure while you're cutting, you're just cutting on the edge of the black lines. We don't want any white left.
Oh, I got rid of Mary's nose.
That's okay. It's just a silhouette, so if you end up cutting off a little too much of something, that's totally okay. Once you've cut out your nativity scene here, you're still gonna wanna cut out these 3 white.
You
Yes?
choking over there?
It was Joseph's nose, not Mary's.
Once you've cut out the silhouette of your nativity here, we're still gonna wanna cut out these 3 white spots here. So how I'm going to do that is I'm just gonna fold it over, not fully creasing, but just folding over enough, and then cutting just a little bit in there to make a little hole that I can fit my scissors into. So now that I have my hole, I can fit my scissors and I can cut all the way around that spot in here. And if cutting these spots in here just sounds a little bit too hard for you, you can ask for help, or you can go ahead and grab some markers, your pencil crayons, and just color those white spots in so that they'll match our tissue paper later.
How are you done?
Because I'm best crafter.
I guess you do. This reminds me growing up of children's liturgy. Always cutting things out, and I loved it so much.
Aww.
I had a Lightning McQueen backpack. I had that thing full of crafts, and it was the best. I think I still have that somewhere. With the crafts still inside.
You never hung them up?
No. Our fridge was always too full.
With other crafts you made?
Yeah.
That's so sweet. Next up is we're gonna grab our popsicle sticks. If you wanna leave them natural, that's totally fine, up to you. But I wanna paint mine black. I think the boys might wanna paint theirs a color. So we're just gonna go ahead and paint our popsicle sticks now. You are going to need 1 for your base. You're gonna need 2 for up top. And then you're going to need 1 for either side of your little nativity house there.
That's a nice little house.
But I don't want mine to be like full on the sides. So I'm gonna cut 2 of my popsicle sticks about 3/4 of the way up before I paint them. You can cut yours if you want to. You don't have to, it's totally up to you. It's just really building the shape of your stable. Just make sure you don't cut it so small that Mary and Joseph won't fit in there anymore. Jesus. Why are you cutting the side of it?
Well, it was just too perfect, so. It was actually the crookedest one I saw.
Now that I have my 5 pieces cut, I'm gonna go ahead and set my workspace up for painting. If you don't wanna paint, you can totally just color these with markers or something. Yeah, do whatever you'd like. Now I'm just gonna make sure I get all the edges around my popsicle sticks and 1 of the top sides. We don't need to make sure we paint the back side because that'll be covered later.
Just like everyone makes it, it's just like gonna look too perfect for like the manger probably didn't look that nice, and so it probably was like used and kind of older, so I'm just gonna like make it
100% it is.
Yeah.
well, actually maybe it wasn't, maybe it was like brand new, who knows.
Dude, no one knows.
I wasn't there. Well, it's probably someone else, like
Wait, you weren't
all
there?
the people that were there.
Wait, you were there?
No, I haven't been to too many births, but I'm not sure about you.
Have you been to any births? Can you whistle us a Christmas song?
Hey!
I would clap, but my hands are busy, so
That was good.
mental clap.
So when you're done painting, just go ahead and set your popsicle sticks aside so they can dry while we do the next part of our craft. Now we're gonna go ahead and assemble our craft. We're gonna grab that bin that we set aside earlier with all the things that we've cut out. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna wanna grab 1 of your pieces of contact paper. So there you go, boys.
Thanks. Thank you, Christine. Thanks.
And then all of my tissue paper is in this basket here. We're just gonna put some in this bowl for us to use. And now we only need 1 piece right now, Ben. Yep. Okay, now we're just gonna go ahead, peel it open, put the sticky side facing us up. And now we're just gonna go ahead and have some fun. Put your tissue paper all over this. Make sure you're mixing and matching different colors to kind of give it that stained glass effect. If some of your pieces are overlapping just like that, so only maybe half of it's touching the sticky part, that's totally okay because after we're gonna put our other sticky piece on top as well. So go ahead and overlap it and just fill up your sheet with your tissue paper. If you're using parchment paper instead of contact paper, what you can do now is just go ahead and put some white glue over top of your parchment paper and then stick your tissue paper on just like we're doing now.
Can I have some other colors? I got pink and green. And...
Yeah, grab them.
Yeah, grab.
I was not sure if I was
There's green in here?
You're allowed.
Fun fact, I cannot see color. No, I can see most colors.
Let's see how this
They all
turns
look
out.
the same.
So you'll see how it's starting to fill the whole sheet here. That's kind of what you want. It's overlapping, but that's totally okay. Just fill out your sheet.
If yours is not perfect, just throw it out and restart. It's okay.
Everyone will be perfect in their own imperfect
Yes,
ways. Or it'll just be perfect to you. That's okay too. Once you have put tissue paper all over your 1 piece of contact paper, we're gonna go ahead and grab our 2nd piece and our nativity scene. Okay. So next we're gonna peel this off here. Then once you have that done, you're just gonna go ahead and grab your nativity scene and place it towards the bottom. So now that I've stuck my nativity on here, it looks just like this. I'm gonna go ahead and grab my tissue paper that I did earlier, and I'm just gonna stick this right on top of it. And you're just gonna kind of smooth it all out. Just like that. Now we're gonna go ahead and plug in our hot glue guns that we're gonna need in a few minutes. Now what we're gonna do while our hot glue gun's warming up, we're almost ready to put our stable onto our nativity, but we're just gonna trim around this first. So what we're going to do is you're just gonna cut all along, just underneath that black line of your nativity here. So just cut as straight as you can. And then we're actually just gonna go from either side and just cut up as straight as you can. If you wanna go a little bit over and then trim it once you have your stable on, that's totally fine. But this bottom length here is the size of one popsicle stick, so it should fit pretty good. So just cut as straight as you can all the way up. And then do that to both sides. So once you've done that, it should look like this. And then we're gonna go ahead and trim this last part once we've put our stable on, depending on the angles of our roof. So now that my popsicle sticks are dry, I'm gonna grab my glue gun, and with my first one, I'm just gonna put glue all on the one side of it there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm gonna stick that right at the bottom, overlapping it with the black strip on my nativity scene, so it's just like that. So once you have that first one on, we're gonna go ahead and grab the sides of our stable. My sides are the pieces that I cut. Yours might be cut too, and if you didn't cut them, that's totally fine, whatever you would like. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put hot glue on my whole stick here, and then I'm gonna put it down. I'm putting down the edge that I cut towards the top because I just don't want it to be exposed, but that's totally just personal preference. Then you're just gonna go ahead and do that again to the other side. Now I overlapped mine here on my popsicle stick, but Daniel didn't, and that's okay. So you can do whichever way you would like. So now just kind of hold your last two popsicle sticks, figure out how you want your roof on, if you want it up super pointy, if you want it a little more slanted down, just kind of figure out what you would like. I think I just want mine nice and tasteful like that. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and grab my popsicle stick and my hot glue gun. This time I'm only gonna do it about 3/4 of the way up to wherever my popsicle stick hits the rest of my stable. Then I'm just gonna go ahead and push it down. Then I'm gonna repeat with the other side, and I'm going to overlap my two at the top, but again, personal preference. Now we're just gonna go ahead and trim off the excess over here. So here is our completed nativity ornament. You can go ahead and leave it like this, maybe stand it up on a bookshelf or something, or you can add string like we're gonna do so we can hang it on our tree. Now that I have my string, I'm just gonna loop it around and kind of see how big I want my loop to be on my ornament. And that looks about right, so I'm just gonna go ahead and cut it to size. Then I'm gonna flip my ornament over. I'm gonna grab my hot glue gun. I'm just gonna put a little gob of glue there, set my string inside of it carefully, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and put another gob of glue, and then just set it on top there. Then I might just put another final gob of glue there just to secure it a little extra. Now don't touch it and wait for it to dry. Your ornament is ready to pick up once it's kind of like cloudy. If your hot glue is still clear, it's still hot.
Don't touch it.
I like how you crossed yours at the top. That looks pretty cool. See, hey.
It kind of gives a cool effect.
Yeah. And look at Ben's all natural. He kind of whittled the popsicle stick so it looked a little natural. It looks really good.
No, I actually really like it.
Well, here's our completed nativity ornament. Hang it in your window, hang it on your tree, or do whatever. Merry Christmas. Bye.
Merry Christmas.